today Armani Caesar dropped the highly anticipated over here, the Liz 2. It's her follow-up to the first Liz that came out 2020. What were some of your thoughts about the Liz 2 after listening to it?
I really enjoyed this album, Mike. And I thought to myself, I'm going to have to I was excited about finding out where to really place this album in our albums of the year talk, because I don't, it's kind of funny. It's like, it's one of those years where it's like, well, you can be, remember the year like Paul George ended up like third in MVP voting?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those type of rap years. Like, Paul George is never going to get that close to the MVP again. He's going to make it into the Hall of Fame. He's been an all-star caliber player. He's a great player, but he's never been a top 3 player. But he finished top 3 in the MVP that season. And I think, traditionally for how we judge hip-hop and how we judge MCs is it's like, oh, I don't know if she's ever going to be considered to be like your favorite MC or even your favorite female MC in terms of her bar work. But this is one of those albums, just like Paul George had one of those seasons. It's just like, oh, no. You can get you some MVP consideration right here with how you playing right now. And I think that's what's going on. And I think even like making the Paul George comparison might be selling her short, because that was Paul George like at the peak of his powers. And we do not know if this is the peak of her powers, because this is only album number 2. Succinctly better than album number 1 to me, because she's better.
Yes. Somebody in the chat said Mellows from PR. That's the example of a black Puerto Rican. Keep it going. I'm sorry.
Not touching that either. I found I'm not touching that. I found her to be the star of this show. Mm-hmm. Whereas on the first Liz, I do felt like she was the co-pilot on a lot of the favorite records. Like outside of Ginger Rothstein, I felt like most of the best records either feel like they were carried by the production or were carried by the help of the guest appearances. Like her and Benny going back and forth on Drillorama, like that helped make that song. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That song's not going to go the same without like Benny there. The beautiful thing about this album, Mike, is that outside of El Puro with Conway, which they totally blistered, Mike, that's a song of the year contender, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like they totally blistered that record. And I want you to think about this, Mike. Before this album dropped, we had heard the the West Side feature song, the Benny and Stove feature song, and even the Kodak Black to, educate and enlighten and get the streams up like we tried to do on Wednesday. But that's neither here nor there. But the Conway feature, the feature that they didn't give you, Mike, is the best feature. That shit is stellar. And outside of that record, I really find to be the highlights of this album when she by her damn self. And that's saying a lot for how dope Paula Deen, Diana, and $100 Hiccup are. Because I think the best records on here are Queen City. Shout out to Charlotte, because I'm pretty certain she called that Queen City because she's resided and went to school, Mike, in my hometown of Charlotte. We call Charlotte QC the Queen City. I think that might be the best record on the album. If it's not, it's Liz Claiborne Jr. 1 and 2, Mike.
I'm with you.
Or it's Method Mary or Ice Age.
Yeah.
Or Big Mood, Mike. Big Mood is big shit, Mike. She's nice on here.
Yeah, she is.
And the last joint, I don't care what you say, I'm going to say this again, Mike. Psych. Oh. How about this, Mike? I know some of my homegirls that I was just out with for my birthday. If they're getting ready to go out tonight, that record getting played while they in motion, and in the motion, when they make it to the motion, they're going to be playing when they make it to the motion. Matter of fact, I need to make some phone calls, Mike. I'm single now. Make some phone calls.
For the fans of the show.
The record might get me back outside. It's like, no. Back outside.
For the fans of the show.
Ladies are going to love that record for a variety of reasons. That record has that
hold on one second.
Little empowering effect. Like It ain't just gonna work on the pole, it's gonna work for all of them. It's gonna work on the pole, especially in Atlanta. Yeah, it is.
I agree. It is. And you know what? For the fans of the show, I think it is noteworthy. Sorry about that. I had a call during the show. I think it's noteworthy to know that this final song is a bonus. So for the people who want to think like Coop, this ain't even on the album for real. I like the fact that they actually made it a bonus because it doesn't fit with everything else going on, but it's a dope
Shit hard.
record.
It's hard.
Let me go to some of the super chats real quick. Peter Park says, "Loved Armani's album from the transition and production to the features and the lyrics. She is a real star. She really is."
He is.
Speaking of transitions, man, I loved them using the Ronnie Pardon Players Club, and it made me think for that sketch that was right before, was it Mel Gibson?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it made me think like, how has nobody used this before a song? When she was like, play the motherfucking music. You know what I'm saying? Like, how has nobody ever used that before?
You want to know what's beautiful part about like what Armani's done too? Is she's embraced her past and empowered and made it empowering. That's what I mean. This album is hardcore, like in the sense of like she's taking the things that men are empowered by, and in being empowered by it as a woman, it's like, no, nigga, I got a few $1 million in the bank. Like, I need a nigga with $100 million. You're a lame. You feel me? That's how dudes with money. Oh, fuck this, bro. She just want me for my money. She like, no, nigga, you weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's flipping the game. But Mike, she's flipping the game properly. She's actually, like, listen to this. She's actually talented enough as an overall artist, gifted enough as an MC with her delivery, her voice. Like, if you want to say the weakest part about her game is her lyrics, that is fine, Mike. But her delivery is awesome. Her voice is awesome. I know plenty of male rappers. I don't think her
lyrics are weak,
Mike, let me finish my thoughts.
I don't think her lyrics are weak.
Mike, let me finish my thoughts, please. I know plenty of male rappers who have decades-long careers off their voice and off their delivery. Now, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. But again,
and so I don't want to hear none of this. Well, her lyrics ain't like that. It's like, oh, so we're 85% of these niggas that we sit up here handing out hall passes to. And she's definitely more charismatic than them. She's definitely making better albums than most of them. And I mean, Mike, she's definitely more pleasing for us to look at than looking at these niggas be ratchet all the time. So give me her. She happens to be making great music. Mike, she stepped up and started making dope-ass fire songs on this album by herself. Like, she's singing these hooks, Mike.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with her lyrics. Well, I mean, where do you say that?
I just don't think it's. I just don't. How about this? When I'm saying like lyrics, I don't think she's what you would say the quote unquote traditional lyricist that a Che or a Sims or a Love is, and because she's not that. You know what I'm saying? How about this? I don't even think that she's Kim as an MC. You feel me?
I don't know. I don't think she's had the opportunity to actually go out there and flex on records in ways that other people have. I mean, she got.
No, I think she has. No, this is it, Mike. This is the evidence.
I mean, but she got on a Primo track and caught wreck on the last album. I'm talking about like features. Like, I think if
this caught wreck on the Major Look beat.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, if she went out there on a feature run with artists that were outside of this camp, I don't think we would be saying those things. Because again, we've made it very clear that she's a scene stealer whenever she does get on the record. She lets her presence be known. So I think that Kim got the opportunity to do those things in ways that she hasn't yet.
No, hold on. Let's back up for a second. First of all, getting compared to Kim for any female MC is the highest of praise.
No. I feel what you're saying.
So let's get that out the way. Also, let's get this out the way. Oh, she's a star. And she's a scene stealer, Mike. And there ain't no question about that with Armani. And when I'm talking about her lyrics, I'm literally trying to tell you, it's like, well, her lyrics aren't a problem for me. But what I'm trying to tell you is that her delivery and her voice are a 10.
Oh, yeah.
And so lyrically, since she's not a 10, it's easier to highlight that, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I got you. Darren Harris with the Super Chat says, Liz 2 is super. Top 5 this year. She has the dopest song titles. Reminds me of this generation's Foxy Brown. 4.7 out of 5. 4.75, excuse me.
Here's what I'm going.
Go ahead, Coop.
Is it on me?
Yeah,
you froze up. That's what I'm saying. I can see. Okay.
I was just going through the super chats.
No. But when I'm saying she's not Kim lyrically, Mike, it's like, oh no, she don't have no time yet. She doesn't have a Quiet Storm remix caliber verse yet. She definitely doesn't have like that All About the Benjamins type level verse yet. So giving her high praise, but when I'm saying she's not the MC that Kim is, it's like, no, she ain't put together a record like No Time yet by herself. These records are great. They're not a No Time. She doesn't have an All About the Benjamins level verse. You know what I'm saying? She's a scene stealer, Mike. She's not like Get Money stealing the scene from fucking Biggie Smalls. You feel me? It's like stealing the scene from Conway or Benny or Westside. You understand that's different than stealing the scenes from Big, right?
I understand what you're saying, Coop.
Kim sitting next to Big stealing scenes. That's not the same thing. And so when I'm saying she's not Kim lyrically, oh no, I've got evidence. I'm not tripping.
This is what I'm saying. I just think, and I agree with you, but she hasn't had those opportunities to do that either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's give her that too.
Yeah.
Let's give her that too. Yeah. I'm going to tell you my biggest critique. My critique actually here isn't the lyrics. It says that we heard more variety on her delivery, on her feature game through Griselda than we're hearing on this album. She's in the same pocket with the same three flows, I think.
Okay.
And I know she can do more because we've seen her do more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's the Forest Lawn flow at? You feel me? The West Side Gun from Hitler, Where's Hermes 8?
Yeah.
Like that flow didn't make this album. You know what I'm saying? And so they got her in a nice, comfortable pocket production-wise. But I think challenging her would have brought some more of the flow out.
Well, I'm going to riff with you in the fact that she trades bars with Conway, Benny, Love, Shay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're talking about one man. You're talking about one man.
Yeah, Mike, I'll take him over all of them.
Obviously, but I'm just saying,
right.
These are different people. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not knocking the versatility. Mike, she traditionally and consistently shine next to or outshine Biggie on records. That's not normal. We're not handing out hall passes.
No, you're right. We're not handing out hall passes.
Who's the standout on Players Anthem?
Let me finish.
Cool.
Let me
Get
finish.
money.
Cool. Let me finish. Who wrote those verses though? Who wrote those verses?
Big is on these records, Mike.
Who wrote those verses though? He did, right? That matters. Since we're not giving out hall passes, he wrote those. He wrote those joints. So let's just be real. Now I will give Kim that Quiet Storm.
You think he wrote all of those verses?
What's that?
You think he wrote like both of the Get Money verses?
Yeah.
Players Anthem.
Yeah.
I Need You Tonight.
Yeah.
No Time.
I do believe it. Miss Ivana, usually rock the Prada, sometimes Gabbana, sticky for your cream and your wrist. Yeah, he wrote that.
She's around Big. Who are you going to rap like when you're around them every day?
So it's a little different.
You're going to try to rap like Big. Rapping like Big is working.
There's actual reference tracks. And I'm not taking anything away from Kim. I'm just, like you said, we're not going to sit here and give extra points. This woman has to rap with guys like Conway, Benny, rap with Love the Genius, Shay Noir, and has to write her own shit to do it. It's a little different when you're rapping next to Big and he's writing your shit. Let's just be real.
So you're saying that you're taking points away from Kim for having Big?
For him writing her stuff, yes. I have to.
Take points away from Foxy for having Nas and Jay around?
If they were writing her stuff,
yes. And Nature and Dre and like half the fucking Def Jam building.
Why do we give... Look, we can't just be giving female MCs a pass for having ghostwriters, man. We can't do that. We can't.
So you don't hold MC Light as high then either? Right.
Who wrote what?
See, when you want to unpack it, let's go ahead and unpack it all the way.
We can unpack it. We can do this all night. Who wrote what for
what
Light?
You're saying is we should hold... So are you telling me right now that you think Armani's a better MC than Kim? Is that what you're telling me?
It's not what I'm saying. I think at this point in her career, though, if you want to talk about 2 albums in and compare the Liz and the Liz 2, she wrote all these things, yeah, I'm taking her over Kim.
Okay, Biggie's dead when Kim's second album comes out. So.
Yeah, I know.
So you know, Biggie
I like this album more than I like Notorious K.I.M. And I actually had a copy of that.
I think first of all, I don't think it's fair because we haven't listened to the Liz 2 enough to say that it's better than the Notorious K.A.M.
I didn't love Notorious K.A.M.
The Notorious K.A.M. is better than the Liz 1, though.
Yeah, Hardcore is better than the Liz 1.
No, I mean the Notorious K.A.M. is better than the Liz 1 too, Mike. The one that she wrote without Biggie's help is better than the first Liz.
I don't know about that.
So if we're comparing first albums without help being written together, it would be the Notorious K.I.M. versus the Liz.
I would love to do that on a Patreon.
I would too, but Mike, this is what I mean. Like, so what about No Matter What People Say or Hold On or How Many Licks? Like, Armani's not writing bangers like that. Big's not.
I didn't like How Many Licks like that.
Nobody asked you if you liked it, Mike. It's a big record.
Is it a big record?
Yeah, that shit was all over BET. Yeah, it was.
I think it was big for the time, but it's not. I don't know how well it aged.
I don't know how well half this stuff aged, Mike. That's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about like hitting with. How about this? Show me the How Many Licks, No Matter What People Say on the Liz 1. You feel me?
You know, you're naming records that aren't really that good. I think that the premiere record, Simply Done, is better than both of those records.
Simply Done's not better than No Matter What People Say, Mike. Like,
Come
you're just
on,
hating.
Man. Come
no,
on,
Mike,
man.
I mean, I'm telling you, like you're hating because it's like you don't like the records. You are.
And I like
you're hating because you don't like the songs. Mike, just because you don't like the songs don't mean that the songs wasn't big and wasn't important. You get what I'm saying? Like, you not liking the song doesn't change how big the record was.
No matter what people say, we gotta move it on. Where they was all doing the merengue and stuff in the video.
Right. But she was actually singing the same way Armani's singing on this album, but that record was a big hit. Show me the record that's about to be a hit with Armani singing on here, because Armani's singing on here too. That's why I brought it up.
Are we questioning what's the bigger record or the better record?
I mean, Mike, we can do that all day. I mean, first of all, we can't talk about the better record when this has only been out for a day versus a product that we've literally had the last 20 years. Well,
Simply Done and No Matter What People Say.
I mean, first of all, she doesn't have one song on here that's about to trend on that level, so the answer is no.
You're talking about marketing dollars now.
No, Mike, I'm talking about the fact that motherfuckers want to do numbers. Why do you think Kodak Black is on this record, Diana?
I understand that. Born King.
Okay, so she's obviously trying to make a move, Mike. So let's talk about the actual move. You feel what I'm saying? Let's not make it seem like she's trying to pigeonhole herself to be this hardcore female rap artist, Mike, because the bar work and the song structure on here isn't like that. She's gravitating towards herself to make a big breakout hit. So no matter what people say is on the table, stop trying to make it seem like she's some sort of hardcore artist. You just listen to this album. She's trying to make some hit records.
You're talking about a hit record from 2000 versus 2022. I feel like if albums were still in the store, a hit is a hit
once it's a hit, Mike. That's what I keep trying to tell you.
You're talking about radio.
That a record was a hit just because it didn't stay and grow the way that we liked it to. It was still a hit for its day. You don't get to downgrade it 22 years later.
But again, it was a radio hit, correct? Do you think No Matter What People Say is going to sit here and circulate in 2022 in that way?
I think if Lil' Kim has a greatest hits, it's going to be on there.
Well, that's a different question. That's a different answer.
They call it greatest hits for a reason, Mike.
Hold on real quick. Let me get some of the super chats. Born King says, have y'all heard of Yara? She's a Cali rapper. Her new album, Californication, West Side Tales. She's dope. She reminds me of Mecca from Diggable Planet. Love Mecca. Or Nalene. Let's see. Let me get to
Mike. That's the chick that's on that's the same one we were talking about on the Nug Life and in Planet Asia. Gotcha. That's Yara. That was on the Planet Asia joint that I was saying. Told you it was like she got that Bahamadia type of flow, but like kind of like gangsted out a little bit because she's from Cali, so it's like you can hear like the, you can hear the gangsta.
The raising head with the super chat says Puffy had the woman getting in shout outs in the club. Leave them N-words alone. J-Lo made the right decision. I'm problematic.
You are. Next. No, I get the things that you're saying, Mike, but it's like let's stop acting like Lil' Kim didn't make like a lot of classic records, and I hear a lot of great records on here, but I don't know where the classics are. Like, do you hear any hip hop classics on here?
I mean, I think this is where we're at right now in music. I think we're gonna get classic projects before we get classic individual songs, because it was a lot easier to actually quantify how classic a song is because songs circulated so much longer back in that time. You could put out a single and it's going to be out there for 3 to 4, maybe 5 months. So we had something to really quantify it by. If Coolio put out Gangsta's Paradise today, rest in peace to Coolio, and it was on the soundtrack, we would hear the song for like a month and it'd be gone. You know what I mean? It's just a different time when it comes to
I get you. It's a
individual
different era.
classic songs. But if you want to talk about this project, listen, let me get to my points on this project because I really loved it. I thought the production was awesome.
Production stellar.
And I think that the transitions were awesome. I think she was awesome on this album. I think that even them adding that bonus record that was kind of a change of pace for most Griselda sounding artists, she sounded great on it. She sounded comfortable on that one too. Yeah, man, I think that for what they wanted to accomplish with this, I don't see where they fell short. And I think some of the things you were talking about where I guess someone might nitpick and say, you know, she's not the type of lyricist that Shay Noir is, but I still think that she's strong lyrically in everything that she presented on here. Like, there's not something where I'm like, man, why'd she say that? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not going to go out there and say anything that's going to blow your mind, but she also is not going to say anything where you're like, oh, man, that shit was whack. You know what I'm saying? She flows with it. And like you said, her delivery, her presence, just her word placement and her ability to make songs, I think they put together damn near a flawless project for what, you know, they were set out to do. And then gave you a little bonus in there.
No, I'm impressed the same way that you are, Mike. Like, I'm a big fan. I am. And I told you, I was like, no, after this album, I can honestly say that, like, no, I'm a fan of yours. You have made two, one project is good. I would say this one is on the verge of being great. But, and this is what I mean. I really enjoyed what I heard. But all of the songs on here are like good to borderline great. I don't know where the great record is outside of the Conway joint. Okay. And so, but here's the thing about it. If you tell me that a male rapper were to give me 16, 17, how many joints is this? 16, 17 joints of good to great records, I would tell you have an album of the year contender. And I'm going to tell you the same thing here. And so I didn't find any song on here. I think there's maybe one or two records on here. It's like, well, maybe you could have kept that. But I understood what they were trying to do with those records even. And so
just like with the first Liz, I found myself listening to this album and it was over before I even realized it was over. And that's a good thing because I'm getting lost in the listen and I'm enjoying the album. With the Jeezy, I'm like, man, how many more songs I got left? With the Snoop, I'm like, how many more songs I got left?
When I got done listening to this album, I was like, man, how about this? No, forget how I feel. We gave the Lupe and the JID 4.5, Mike.
Okay.
I enjoyed it more than both of those albums. I did. From beginning to end, I just thought that the album was better than the Lupe and the JID.
Okay.
I know people are going to get on me because, of course, Lupe has it lyrically. The production on this album is just crushing the production on Lupe's album. It is. It's crushing. As far as the JID goes, this is the polished, consistent, woven in and out song to song joint that one isn't. You know how he has highlights and lowlights and some like, this and that, Mike. This is like, this song's dope, this song's dope, this song's dope, this song's dope. I enjoyed it slightly more. And so I would lean towards saying that I think it's a 4.6. Putting it at a 4.6, Mike, would mean it probably falls somewhere like 6 to 10 on our album of the year list right now.
Okay.
Maybe higher. It might be top 5 now that I'm thinking about it if I were to rate it that way. And so what say you?
This is right what I'm going to say. In relation to those albums that you just spoke about, obviously Lupe, in my opinion, is a candidate for Lyricist of the Year because of his performance on that album.
Correct.
Drill Music of Zion. I also feel like the production on Drill Music of Zion was super dope. I think where
it's this not fucking with this though.
I think
that's what I'm saying. It's not fucking with this.
I think the production on this one, it's more standout. Yeah, I think that the way she put together these songs, I mean, it's seamless, with these records and, her voice and how she's able to actually make it all come together. Her consistency goes, kind of, I'm piggybacking off of something you said, right? Her consistency would trump their projects, but their highlights
Yes,
would
like
trump
Lupe's
everything
highlights.
that's on
Right.
there. So, with that being said, if she had the same rating as them based on the consistency and the better production job, I wouldn't be mad at that. Because obviously, like I said, JID came with some incredible stuff. But you're right. There's some things that he could have left off. There's some things that he could have reworked. Um, and I know you were saying that the final outro had to be changed and those things as well. But and I think that there's some things that could have been done for his project to be slightly better. I don't really know what could be done for this album to
To be
be actually
better.
better.
Right.
Unless,
Right.
like you said, unless you're talking about getting a no time out here. I will say this. I think that the song she made with Kodak could have been better. Because I
You
thought
want to know
about
what?
Silent Hill and I thought about how much of a banger Silent Hill is for Kendrick. And I think the song she made with Kodak is good. But I think
Yeah.
if they could have went for a banger type of thing, it could have elevated the project.
I do too. So I'm not disappointed in the record. I understand the
Yeah.
movement. I understand what they're trying to do. Even had Camouflage Monk on the production. No, like I get the move.
Yeah.
But much like you, Mike, it's like, well, they should have made it more of a standout moment. One of the beautiful things about this album that I enjoy, well, if you're not familiar with her like that, and she still is relatively new as an artist because she hasn't done a ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were, first of all, I love the intro, the Elizabeth Taylor intro, because the
Yeah.
way that they're setting this up as a Liz, like, how about this? I know about Liz Taylor because my mother is one of those people that it's like, no, Liz Taylor is one of them white chicks that my mom always rocked with. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know, like, to hear like that Liz Taylor interview or Barbara Walters talk to her, I'm like, yeah, that's the Liz Taylor that my mom used to like shop at Neiman's and rock Louis luggage and all that shit. Like to fuck with Liz Taylor shit, the way that they are, it's like, no, she's fitting into that mold and that scheme with her rhetoric so well. So I love to hear the album start like that. And then to go into bangers like Paula Deen, Diana, Mel Gibson, $100 Hiccup. Mike, if you don't know her, you might think that the best parts of the album are over and it's really just getting started. And that is the dope part about this album is they hit you with a lot of heat early on and then they kind of let her fly. And she actually flies very, very well without them. And then the Conway joint kind of brings it all back towards the end and sews it up. Like the big new move to El Puro, I was like, they finishing this album strong. It's super impressive. If you want to say 4.5 and match it up with the JID and the Lupe, I'm cool with that because I will agree with you on this. I feel like the Liz 2 is better produced than both of those albums. But I do feel like the highlights on those albums are better than the highlights on this album. But she's more consistent than those projects because there's a couple of those Lupe joints and a couple of those JID joints where you're like, I don't know.
You know what? This is what I'm going to say about her, too, because I've been anticipating this project because I love hearing her on records. And when I even see her on the record, I know that she's about to make her presence felt. I think she has the ability to make some really, really big highlight records that we haven't heard yet.
When I'm comparing, Mike, when I'm pulling up here and I'm comparing her to Kim.
And Foxy.
Like, that's what I mean.
Foxy
that's
is the comparison,
like,
too.
I'm telling you what she hasn't done yet. But if I'm comparing her to Kim and Foxy, that definitely means that I think that she can do it. Like, I can see her making a no time.
I was just about to say that.
She has the charisma to make a no time.
I was about to say, I truly believe if this was 1996, she can make a Take You Home or No Time. I just think that the era is different.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
And it's hard for me to hold that against her when it's just a different game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mad Max in the super chat says, some of the ratings is crazy. Do people realize that a 4.75 is like a 9.5 out of 10 or a 95 out of 100? You're basically calling this a classic because a 4.5 and up is in classic area. Darren Harris with the super chats said, I think The Liz is the best female rap album of all time. Miseducation counted.
Wow.
Miseducation is not a hip hop album. I'm sorry, he said Miseducation not counted. Well, Miseducation is more of an R&B album. 3 rap songs on it. Mad Max also says, laughing my ass off, Darren Harris. Brother, stop. All time is crazy. Is it, though? Let's name your top 5 female hip-hop rap albums. Hip-hop
Well, I
rap albums.
mean, let's hold on. Let's not and figure out. No, see, I don't like the competitive nature of this. First of all, we don't know if it's better than the Che Noir because we rated the Che.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. If we're giving Armani a 4.5,
That's what I want to do on the Patreon. I hate to do that, but I mean, damn. Because I know we got to do the Che and we got to do Ransom too.
Maybe we're doing Che and Ransom first, and maybe Armani can go up against the winner of that since we're putting them all. Because we have, let me see where we got Che at. I got this longest. Yeah, we gave Food for Thought a 4.7, Mike.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and listen to that too.
And we gave Black Thought a 4.7, Black Star a 4.6, and Ransom a 4.6, and we gave Armani a 4.5. And so what I would tell you is that we need to play this Che again, because when you're saying the Liz 2 is the best female rap album ever, it's like, is it the best female rap album this year?
Let me finish these super chats and I'm gonna give my thoughts.
And then there's just the fact, no. Then there's the fact, Mike, and I'm telling you this, there's a very, very high probability that 2 women are gonna crack our top 10 album of the year list. It might be trending towards the fact that it's like, well, we need to stop having that whole male and female MC conversation, mostly about the fact, Mike, well, we know that these ladies are writing their shit, so let's stop.
And that's not even counting Megan.
And if women are coming along and literally making album of the year contending albums year after year, like I think we may have with Che and with Armani, coming from relatively the same camp, so to speak, even though I know it's not like straight up and down the same camp because Che is not directly with Griselda, just an affiliate, but that's a beautiful moment that these things are happening and that we may even have to change the way that we speak.
And that's not even counting Megan and Lotto. Born King with the super chat says, has the Currency and Alchemist album been considered album of the year? It was early.
It was early. It just hasn't held as well music-wise. Currency makes new music, which is beautiful. Like, Currency's going to give you a 4 probably.
Yeah, every time. The Raisin Head with the super chat says, Food for Thought is album of the year. El Camino is the most consistent rapper over the last few years, album for album. Waiting for KD3. Mad Max says, Lil Sim's album was better from last year. I like Lil Sim's album a whole lot. This is what I'm going to say. And I think that when you talk about, best album, this and that and the third, I tell you all the time, Rod Digger's Dirty Harriet is my personal favorite, rap album by a female MC. I listen to that like I listen to whatever. And that's how I felt about the Liz too. Like, I feel like, I'm going to really listen to this album. Like, I feel like as dope as the Lil Sims is, I can listen to it and realize and recognize that, this is a dope project, right? But I don't know if I'm going to go back to it in the way that I go back to, Dirty Harriet. I go back to Dirty Harriet all the time, man. I do.
Well, no, replayability and likability is a factor in this game, in this discussion that we're having. Like, it has to be, like, people got to rock with your shit. And so, like, I feel you. Because here's the thing that I do like about Armani is, like, I mean, as a guy, Mike, as, like, the production is so stellar when you ride around to it. That even if you as a guy, because I know you have brought up that it's like, you tell me you've brought up issues of having trouble being able to relate, honestly about a female's perspective when she's rapping, it makes it hard for you to ride to it. It's like, well, Armani's Lil Kim and Foxy, like, in the sense that it's like, even if you don't rock with it, she's so dope at so many different things. She's empowering. Plus, she's pretty, so you kind of like her and you kind of want her to win. And then the record is there, and so she has a lot going for her, wouldn't you say?
This is what I'm going to say. She's got a better rap voice than Lil Kim, and that's saying a lot.
She does.
Now, I don't know about Foxy. I don't think she got a better rap voice than Foxy.
She doesn't. But I agree with you on that. I'll give you that. She does have a better rap voice than Kim.
Does she got a better flow than Kim?
Huh?
Does she got a better flow than Kim?
No. No. Because Kim flow is an offshoot of Biggie's flow. No.
Deontay Smith with the super chat says Shay has a project dropping this month. So the best female rap album this year debate might not be resolved yet. Didn't know she's dropping this month. Man,
I thought she just dropped something, or is it supposed to drop? I thought it had already dropped. and we needed to pull back up.
Do we got to pull
Or
back
she
up?
might have dropped the outtake. She might have dropped like her lost tapes versions or something. I feel like just dropped from Che.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up Funkdafied. I love Funkdafied, and I think, and I'm gonna say this about Funkdafied: the "Give It to You" remix is probably my favorite female rap song ever, personally.
Okay, so I'll tell you this.
Record.
I objectively would probably rank Hardcore over Funkdafied, but for me personally, Funkdafied is my favorite rap album by a female because it's the album that I feel like I can play from beginning to end and literally rap the words to as a man and don't feel no type of way about it. I told you, like when she comes in on the second side, now back from the 60644 full of endo, untypical is B to the R to the A to the T. The city of CHI is where I'm from. The third motherfucker that dropped the bomb on the bomb, and here I come. Steady breaking busters off. Up to bat is the brat, and ain't a damn thing soft about. You get what I'm saying? Like you can rap along to some of that shit as a dude, and the whole album is like that, and it's got hits. It's got beats.
It's got
Even Chris Cross verse on there is fire.
I mean, it's the reason why it's the first female rap album to go platinum.
Go platinum. So I'm with you on. I'm with Hardcore and Funkdafied. Mike, I can give you Dirty Harriet because Dirty Harriet is a rap lovers rap type of album.
Yeah, that's my kind of rap, man. Just that bully foot.
No, it's a rap lovers type of rap album. I get you.
Because I mean, the Outsiders record, man. I love that record, man. Okay. Gonna get the highest side. My attitude's like a bad sitcom. Nothing funny. Slap you like you stole something from me. Man, we got raps by the page like Bill Gates got money. First week out, we top 20. Crunchy, dummy yumsy, come get your mouth injured. Diss us, watch our pop willies without ninjas. Bring your blingy with you for the Brick City niggas. Shitting on you like kitty litter. You could do 50 sit-ups. And I don't give a fuck if you bigger. I got a right hook that'll drop any nigga. I like that kind of rap.
No. I dig what you're saying. So what I would tell you is that right after those three albums that we named, I would probably tell you 4 and 5 for me probably after that would be Eve's album.
Oh, yeah.
And then the album Eve by Rhapsody. But here's what I will tell you.
Yeah. Another one, yeah.
But here's what I'll tell you. As much as I love Eve by Rhapsody, I feel like this Che Noir and this Armani are better. Because I'm going to listen to them more. Like conceptually, I think the Eve album is the best female rap album ever conceptualized and executed from beginning to end. So if we're talking on a technical level, it's actually Eve.
By Rhapsody, yes.
But when you have to factor in the fact that people have to ride to your shit and replay your shit, it's like, well, I would go Funkdafied, Hardcore, Dirty Harriet, Eva Destruction, and then I would we're going to have to decide about this Che and this Armani, because I think they may have just came with, because I'll tell you what, as much as I love Foxy, this is better than all of Foxy's albums. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you said Eva Destruction.
I love Fox, too.
You know what, I'm going to be real. I think that if you want to talk about groundbreaking, impactful, hit records, classic records, it has to go to Hardcore, to be honest.
Yeah. No, but here's what I mean when I'm saying what Armani does is impressive. Like when I'm saying that it's better than Foxy's albums, but Foxy's highlights are way better than hers. Like Foxy's last real album, Broken Silence, Mike, the start of Broken Silence, Candy with Khalees, Oh Yeah, with Sprague Benz.
Oh yeah, it was hard.
BK Anthem, remember? That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, no. There are none of those on here. So it's like there are levels to this, and I understand that was a different era. Like those first 7 songs of Broken Silence are just as good, if not better, than everything on this album. The only difference is Armani is doing it for the full album, not half the album. Like with Kim and Foxy, it'd be like outside of Hardcore, Mike, for Kim, it's like you got me for 5 songs, then you lost me for 3, and then you had me for 4 again. With Foxy, it's like you had me for half the album, and then you lost me for half the album. With this shit, it's like, no, you got me like the Roots and Erykah Badu, man. You got
J. L. Boogs with the super chat says, I'm going to check out the Armani's album for sure. What do you think of Lakia? I think that she's dope, and she has bars and a voice. She calls herself the female GOAT. Love Lakia. Yeah, she's dope. I need to check out her most recent album, though.
I'm about to say, I don't think I've heard enough to have a hardcore opinion yet to But I need to listen some more.
Born King
It's hard
says
to keep up
Brat
with all
tried
this
too
stuff. It's
hard.
a lot of stuff everywhere, Mike. It's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to keep up. We need to hire staff.
Born King says Brat tried too hard to sound like Snoop. I agree with that. And that kind of hurt. And you know, I didn't notice it at the time, but after the fact, I go back and look at the Funkdafied video and just how, you know, how similar that was to what G Funk was going on, and it kind of affects the way I feel about it now. But I love those songs still. But I think what really hurt Brat when it came to that part of it was she never really had an identity moving forward.
It wasn't doing. I was about to say, Mike. It was the transitioning out of it. I think that was a problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't the actual doing it. She did the female Snoop thing rather well. It was the transition of it. Like she didn't transition well into what the next thing was going to be. She didn't really identify her character.
Yeah. Melvin Wright with the super chat says Brat ripped Snoop's flow and rode the wave hard. Rode that wave hard. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, man, we have to. I'm sorry, I have to put that on the producer mostly, right? In this situation,
you're signing a young unsigned artist from Chicago. You get what I'm saying? It's like she's probably like that's like when you hear her rap on the second album, Mike. Well, people didn't take to that, and it's like, oh no, that's how they rap in The Shy, though. You see what I'm saying? So it's like everybody that's like, oh no, you have to understand. Well, for whatever you feel about how she sounded and taking in Jack and Snoop's flow. Well, you didn't follow her as much when it was her flow, when she had more creative control of the process. You damn sure bought Funkdafied.
Mike, yeah, so kind of like what he did worked, but it didn't.
Every other nigga like us was wanting to be in the Give It To Me video. Like, stop playing. We all wanted to be invited to that party and be in the video with Bill Bellamy. Biggie was chilling, all little R&B superstars that you wanted to smash.
Everybody was in that video. Everybody
big fun in that video, Mike. I was like, what do I got to do to get in this game?
You got Keith Murray in the video. You got Goody Mob in the video. TLC. Mary's in there wilding out. Too Short.
Big chillin'.
Yeah, you got MC Light out there in the beginning helping the catering and all that. Yeah, man. Incredible video.
Bill Bellamy playing like the fake ass valet.
Andre Shashir with the super chat says, glad somebody mentioned Lakia on here. She's from my city and dudes from here can't touch her. She's nice, and a former baseball teammate manages her. Dope. Andre Shashir is such an insider. One of our insiders is in the chat.
Hold on. Andre has literally been following us, y'all, since we used to go on Facebook Live.
Oh, no, we were on Instagram Live when Andre was in
Was
there.
Was he on Instagram Live with us, too? The Instagram Live is when it started. Them little hour segments, we didn't even know we was getting cut off. Remember the first episode, we didn't know we was getting cut off? You were like, hey, I was like, I think there's only an hour, and it was like...
like, boom, yeah. So yeah, I think that where does Black Rain fit in that for you? Because
I don't love Black Rain.
She has some hits on there though. UNITY and Just Another Day, great records.
Okay, so I mean the highlight doesn't get any higher than that. You know what? Six had a copy of Latifah's Black Rain. I just haven't heard it in a long time. I would probably need to go listen to it to give it a fair listen. Just Another Day and UNITY obviously are hip hop classics. You know what I mean? Like period, point blank.
So what's your favorite MC Light album?
You know, I love Light, but I never really loved any of her albums more than any of the other ones. I would say the one that has like Paper Thin and Cha 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 on it. Which one is that?
That's the first.
That Light as a Rock?
I always thought the one with Poor Georgie was the one where it was like she really had taken her style to the next level. Act Like You Know. Because Poor Georgie, I mean, I think is one of the stronger hip-hop records of that year, too. Especially from a single standpoint.
I think I was more Light as a Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still Light as a Rock.
You still Light as a Rock over Act Like You Know? Okay.
I am. Like, because you want to know what? Like Light as a Rock, the actual song, like, is one of those songs from my childhood that I'll always remember. I never, like, she's the first female I ever heard rap that I can recall hearing rap and could see a visual aid of who she was and was entertained by it. That was Light as a Rock. So, you know, it sticks to your ribs different when there's that person that kind of puts you on. It's like the women rap too. They rap like this. They got a voice like this. They sound like this. They make dope ass records like this. That's what Light as a Rock was. I am the light. As a rock, Lylyt. I still remember it in my head the first time I seen it, like, and all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can remember asking my big cousin, not my cousin Mario, the producer, but his older brother, the dude whose artwork is on the wall. I can remember asking him, I'm like, who is that? Cuz he's like, oh, that's MC Lyte, nigga. You know, I'm 7 years old. He's 16. Like that's MC Lyte, nigga.